From the post-millennial, Puerto Rico bans all medical sex changes for people under 21. Minors having not yet reached the necessary emotional, cognitive, and physical maturity are particularly vulnerable to making decisions that can have irreversible consequences. Puerto Rico has banned sex change surgeries for those under the age of 21 and blocked public funds from being used for such purposes. Governor of the U.S. Island Territory, Jennifer Gonzalez Colon, signed the bill into law on Wednesday. The bill would see fines of $50,000 per violation issued to healthcare professionals who provide hormone therapy or sex change surgeries, as well as 15 years in prison and the revocation of licenses and permits, per NBC News. The law states minors having not yet reached the necessary emotional, cognitive, and physical maturity are particularly vulnerable to making decisions that can have irreversible consequences. Therefore, it is the state's duty to ensure their comprehensive well-being, and I say, bravo, Puerto Rico. Why the rest of the United States and its territories have not already passed these laws, I don't know, but I think this is something that the United States, the federal government, should pass for all of the U.S. and its territory.
Well, I think there's a bigger question. Is like, who is that desperate to cut off their penis? They're going to a doctor in Puerto Rico. I mean, seriously, to go to a real doctor, you know what I mean? What are they going to do this in the back of a taco truck? Like, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico and have them cut off my wiener. Like, dude, give me a break. I mean, gosh almighty. Good thing they outlawed them, because I wouldn't want a Puerto Rican doctor cutting off my genitals. No offense to Puerto Ricans.
To be honest,
great.
to that
Love
point,
big booty Latinas, but
I wouldn't want any kind of doctor. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I know.
I'm not a racist, so whatever.
I'm not a racist. I love big booty Latinas. I'm just saying, Puerto Rico, or you want a doctor that went to went to medical school online? I mean, no. I want a real doctor that went to a brick and mortar school.
I agree. I would agree for other
Puerto Rico being
procedures.
a state. It's not really a state, but
No, it's
Puerto
territory.
Rico is still a shithole. I mean, I love you, Puerto Rico. I've been to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's not this nice place. Dude,
it's a
Puerto Rico had a hurricane, and I was in Puerto Rico recently. I'm not even kidding. Beautiful place. Everybody goes there to dodge their taxes. That's what it's for, basically, just to, and I love that. I think taxes are, a scam, and I know some people that have dodged their taxes in Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico, first of all, is the last place you want to get any kind of surgery, unless you're like trying to get a BBL or something for 50% off. But I'm serious. So them outlawing sex change, they should just outlaw surgery in Puerto Rico altogether. It should be only life-saving surgery.
Does the U.S. government neglect the Puerto Rico? Is that why it's suffering so terribly right now?
Yeah, like they had a hurricane and the traffic light still wasn't working. And I stayed at the Fairmont Hotel, a really nice hotel. They're like, oh yeah, the light just hasn't been fixed. You're like, really? It's not like that third world, but it's not first world. It's closer to Puerto Rico is like Jamaica or something. Maybe it's a little nicer, but it's like a beach colony. It's not like New York City. It's the opposite of that, in my opinion. So if you're going to Puerto Rico to get surgery, that's a losing proposition, I would say.
Is AOC from Puerto Rico?
Her abuela is, and then her roof flooded, and then we all raised money for her, and then AOC wouldn't take the money because AOC is.
It was conservatives that raised the money.
The conservatives raised the money, and she wouldn't take it for her abuela in Puerto
But no,
Rico.
AOC's
Wow,
from.
she doesn't
but
care about
AOC's
her
from New
abuela?
York. AOC's from.
She's from like Westchester.
Yeah, she went to she grew up in a very nice area of New York. She tries to play it off that she came from
the Bronx
poor area in New York, but she didn't. She grew up. Sandy Cortez grew up in a very nice and went to school in a very nice area of New York. But is it something that the Puerto Rican government shouldn't be involved in, or is this what this is?
Well,
what do you guys think?
Over 18, I feel like you got to let they're adults, so I don't see why you would ban them from making medical decisions over 18. That's
the argument for that is basically your prefrontal cortex has not developed enough to control your decision making, your emotional brain.
I think that's true.
Is that specific to men?
No, that
or
is
women?
actually true. It's like your brain actually finishes developing somewhere around 25. So at 20, when you're 18, even though you're an adult technically, you're prone to be more reactive and make decisions based on emotion more than on actual thought about it, and the repercussions don't really register with people that like what forever is and what permanent really means the same way they do with someone over 25.
Were you gonna say something?
Oh, I was just wondering if it was the same for women, because they always say like girls mature faster. Is their brain like just reach that level earlier? And if so, do the laws reflect that?
I've never actually looked into it, but I know that when it comes to like renting a car, the reason you can't rent a car until you're 25 is because of these studies that insurance companies have done. They say, okay, people under 25 make bad decisions because they haven't matured enough. And when you look at the actual science behind it, they haven't matured enough because their prefrontal cortex hasn't fully developed.
And I agree with that because, like, when you're 21, you're still a kid. I know that seems people are like, no, you're really adult. I mean, you're really a kid until 25. Like that, I think 25 actually is the age when I was kind of like, oh shit, I'm almost 30. Like that is kind of the age, and I technically started considering myself like I'm actually an adult.
Yeah, me too.
People are gonna make fun of me for that, but that's when I was like, oh shit, like I am an adult. So yeah, that makes sense. That the fact that it's 21 though, I kind of do agree. Like 18, I want to be able to have a gun. I should be able to, cut off my penis, I guess. I mean, if there's going to be an age restriction, that's
actually, why would they limit to like not do gun control at that age too, or whatnot?
We debate the trans people a lot, but I just want to say that like I don't hate the trans. Like I like the trans people. I don't like the transitioning of children. And like there's a lot of conservatives that want to outlaw like transgenders in women's sports. I think that's stupid because you can gamble on transgenders. You can win money. I'm serious. Like Leah Thomas, I won so much money. Literally from the Olympics, that transgender, I won like $2,000. I'm dead serious. Yeah, you can gamble on them. And this is the other thing is like Donald Trump is trying to outlaw transgenders in the military. I disagree with that because transgenders I think would make good soldiers. They're like some of the meanest people on earth. They like to carry out mass shootings. They do that all the time. They have done like the last 6, and a lot of them are suicidal. You know what I mean? And a soldier that's willing to die for his country is probably the best soldier you could have. So I'm pro-trans. I love the trans people. I think that we give them almost too tough of a time. I like these laws in place to stop children from getting these. That's where I kind of stand. So I tend to agree with you on the 18.
Oh man, it's the same way doing drugs. I wouldn't advocate someone to give kids drugs, but if you're 22 and you want to do drugs, go for it. That's my argument with that.
Do they have a limit for age though with drugs? I don't think so.
I mean, it depends on what drug and what you're talking about. If you're talking about like marijuana, it's just, I believe it's 18, possibly 21, depending on the jurisdiction where it's legal. Is it 18? Okay, yeah. So it's 21 recreational, 18 medical.
I was just looking at most of Europe here. Most of them have it at 18. Scotland has 16.
You're talking about drinking?
For transitioning. So Europe's kind of on the consensus of around 18. So they're going a little hard with 21 in Puerto Rico. But
21's interesting. Morally, I understand it, but legally, it makes no sense.
I think 21 is fine. I mean, we should be doing everything we can as a society to disincentivize and discourage like transitioning, because I think that it well, first of all, because you cannot become a woman if you're a man.
Well, be careful. On YouTube, you can become whatever you want. But I want to say this, though.
No, you can say it's okay nowadays.
Well, it wasn't that long ago, and I used to be a Howard Stern fan, and now he stinks. But he used to do this thing with Dr. Sal Calabro where people could win breast implants, and sometimes he would have a trans person to win the breast implants. And he would have the trans person on. It was very funny. But he would always ask them, this is the 90s, early 2000s, like, have you got the bottom surgery? Are you post-op or pre-op? He would always ask them. And they would always say, I'm pre-op because I can't go to a surgeon. There's only very few surgeons. This is the early 2000s. They're like, there's not very many surgeons in America that will do this surgery. I have to go to a foreign country and it's not safe there. And then if you look at the amount of gender reassignment clinics in the 80s compared to now, and then you have, Billboard Chris that released at Ann Libs of TikTok a video of Boston Children's Hospital saying that they love a child diagnosed with gender dysphoria because they have a patient for life. There's a medical incentive to transition these people. So until we stop our for-profit medical system, this is never going to stop, Phil. That's what I
was stop our for-profit medical system.
No, I mean, that's one thing that I'm not too conservative. I wish we had caps. And I wish you could put a lot of caps on our healthcare system. But I'm saying if we have a healthcare system that is a capitalistic system, they're always going to use this gender reassignment, gender transition. It's like how they give everybody an antidepressant. You go in there and say, I feel sad. They give you a pill that is, SSRIs, that even some of the side effects cause suicidal tendencies. So why would you give a suicidal person a pill that makes them more suicidal? So I'm just saying the medical community does not care about keeping us healthy. They want to keep us sick. And I think with this trans stuff, there's no better way than to diagnose somebody as having gender dysphoria, and they will never be okay.
I do agree that there are a lot of doctors and a lot of pharmaceutical companies that are lobbying for these procedures and to keep these procedures legal, specifically because it creates permanent customers. If you have a transgender surgery, you are going to be on medication for your entire life. And I agree about that, definitely. But I just think that it's totally awful to allow this. I think that this stuff is going to be looked at like lobotomies in the future.
Oh, for sure.
I think so too, actually. Yeah, somebody that cuts off their wiener. I mean, I'm not even trying to be funny, because that's the other thing is this is some of the sick people. I talk to these detransitioners, and I really appreciate all the people that are detransitioned and that are outspoken. But if you cut off your genitals, your sexual satisfaction is not going to happen. Like anybody that says that they turn their penis into a vagina and that they can, have any sexual gratification.
Apparently they've advanced that.
That's bullshit.
And apparently they can get pleasure from it. I don't know.
I know, dude. You can get pleasure all sorts of ways. I'm just saying it's not the same.
So what do you guys think about the argument? So playing devil's advocate here, what do you think about the argument? Well, this is the early stages of transgender surgery, and whereas they'll never be able to change the chromosomes, they will be able to eventually produce genitals that are functional in a way that normal people's genitals are functional, and this is the necessary first steps.
Are you talking like take cells, clone them, and grow an
basically
organ?
grow a penis on your elbow and use your own penis.
So I don't know. So I don't know how it actually happens. But the point that I'm making is there are people that are transhumanists that believe that in the future we're going to have bionic arms, bionic eyes. You'll be able to either regrow or have mechanical.
It's gonna be like
appendages.
It's gonna be like Futurama. Our head is just
straight. Well, it'll be straight up like Luke Skywalker's hand, and they're growing. They're growing skin and muscle in the lab. So I mean, you can imagine that in 100 years they'll be able to replace people's arms with a mechanical arm that actually has their own skin, like grafted or grown in the lab, covering it. Maybe it'll be a robotic skeleton. But you'll be able to grow, your own skin and stuff. What do you say to people that say this is just the first step of that stuff, and we shouldn't outlaw it? And again, I think we should. But the point that I'm making is just to play devil's advocate. What do you say to those people that these are the baby steps? Because there's Neuralink that they're working on now, computer chips in the brain, etc. These things are all possible now, and these are the first steps to make them widespread.
Well, it's terrifying, and I think God puts you in the body you're meant to be in. But what I think might happen is they actually grow a body for you and then move your consciousness from the male body to the female clone or something like that. I think that would be more realistic.
Or really, if they have the Neuralink, you don't even need a body. Like you'll just be like intubated in a tube, and then you'll be living in a computer fantasy like Vanilla Sky.
Yeah, it's kind of like by the time we get to that point, it will be like a non-thought anymore. It's just like, I mean, you could technically...
We could already be in that point right now.
A penis that you could put back on if you would decide to untransition yourself if you had gone that route. So at that point, it's like, why do any of it? I don't know.
Well, I think that I'm all about body modification in general if you want to. I find it not attractive, but doing it on kids isn't the way to test it. If this is the early stages of figuring out, that's not the way to do it.
I don't think that was. I think my
it wasn't your question, but
my point was more about just what about adults that want to do that?
Yeah, that's cool. I support it, but man, that gross shit when that gets into the kids' minds, and then the kids are start to told like you're supposed to do that. That's real bad, and that doesn't help the cause.
Well, and I just think there's like some science, the eyeball, like doing surgery on eyes are so difficult. I think that's going to be similar to like a penis.
Yeah, because it goes in. It's
you just
internal
can't
stuff.
You could create like a thing that is close to a penis, but it'll always be like 95% of a penis. So I don't think that's possible. I don't think, unless it's like grown in a lab, I don't think you can make an artificial thing that will have the same sexual gratification as the real thing. I just don't think that's
like possible. A quantum leap, like way past
Ever. I don't think so ever. Unless we can actually clone people, like unless you can just make the whole entire human body. I don't know if you can make an external penis and add it to your regular penis. I mean, I don't know. I don't
It's
think
a lot
that's
more than the external stuff. It's a big
Yeah.
problem with the movement that they think that if it's the way you look, then that makes you what you are. But it's all the internal workings that you don't see
Right.
that participate in creating what your penis does and how it is. It's not just what you see and what's on the outside.
What do you guys think? Do you think that transitioning is trying to, and making that normalized, is trying to make transhumanism something?
Of course,
that,
100%. It comes from the. It's like this is even demonic. It's in the Bible, like Baphomet, you know. And whether you guys believe in God or not, the evil people that rule the world, like they are into Christianity, so they're Satan. Like they know the Bible. The people that are Satanists actually know the Bible better than a Christian a lot of the
That's
times.
true, yeah.
And so that's what they look at, like Baphomet and some of these demonic characters are. You know, it's like a physical male with the male abs and then female breasts. So there is this weird thing where they say in the future, if we live long enough, we'll all be one race and we'll all be one sex.
Yeah.
So there is a move towards that, the merge.
It feels dark. There's something about it that seems dark.
Androgyny. And then there's Andromeda, which is that,
That's a galaxy.
and it sounds very similar to androgyny. I don't know if it's a similar, they did that for a reason.
You can Google the root word andro.
Yeah, andro.
And that's also, it would be the derivative, or android is a derivative of that.
Android, androgynous, Andromeda. Like, what are they aiming us at right now? I see this transhumanist thing is full. It's in full gear right now.
Yeah, full gear. It's going to be mainstream.
Well, it's led by billionaires like Elon Musk, and the people that they say the motivation behind the trans, people want to live forever. That's the motivation to the transhumanistic movement. It's like these really rich people want to live longer, and I think that people are more motivated to do that than ever. So I think that's why, selfishly, Elon Musk is into Neuralink, because he wants to hook his brain up to a computer so his brain will work forever, so he lives forever.
Living forever is, I was just thinking about this. Okay, inbreeding. Because if you're 180, but you have the body of a 35-year-old, and then you have these hot great-great-granddaughters that are also 35.
Okay.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.